First impressions, you might think that this is really just repaints. Well, you'd be right, that's exactly what it is. But we are treated to this god-awful, environmentally friendly packaging, which basically means that the packaging is cheap, tatty, and the figures can be easily damaged. Very, very cool. And so this is the only time I will be covering articulation on the Daleks. Okay guys, so now moving on to the second wave of character options figures for 2022, and starting off appropriately enough with the Genesis of the Daleks set. As I say, I'm losing track of the numbers, so I'm just going to call them by the story because it's a lot easier. But let's take a look at these two very interesting Dalek figures. So, on first glance, you might think, oh, they're exactly the same, but actually there are quite a few differences between them. So once again, this seems to be becoming standard on all of these sets. One of the Daleks has the oval shape, the other one doesn't. One of the Daleks has a black ball joint for the plunger arm, whilst the other Dalek doesn't. One of the Dalek has the standard egg cup dome lights, while the other Dalek has this new sculpt of light, which we will get onto in the next set, and there's a reason for that. So both of the Daleks are painted the exact same colour of grey, which I think looks absolutely amazing. When people said that this grey was more accurate to the actual Genesis props, I didn't believe them. In fact, I thought, no, I think they've done a better job with that original figure, but actually, no, now that I've got these in hand, this is exactly how they look on screen, and I think this is the best paint job we've ever seen on Genesis Daleks. The original Genesis Dalek had a sort of bluey grey to it, which I always thought was accurate, but taking a look at these, it's been smashed out the park. Now, the only thing I'm not happy with is that the guns are black instead of that sort of bronzy colour. And it's interesting because we do get a Genesis Dalek that does come with that bronze colour, which we'll get onto later on. But yeah, some people are saying that's accurate. I don't think it is, personally. But look, I'm not a Dalek expert. I'm just going by what I remember in my head, and I thought all of their guns were bronze. So that's just me. What is nice is that they have included some scuffing on the bases, which is something we didn't get in a lot of previous history sets. So they're actually going back to doing this again like they did in the first and second History of the Daleks set, which is nice. So now, like I say, I've covered articulation. It's all the same. We have the new updated slats, which I really, really like. And yeah, now I'm just going to say, guys, keep an eye on this guy because I'm going to bring him back shortly. So we're going to move swiftly on to the Destiny of the Daleks. Okay, and here we have History of the Daleks set 12. Right, so I finally bothered to go and look at the number. It is 12, so the previous one I looked at was 11, and the others were 9 and 10. I'm sorry, I just, I don't really concentrate enough. But here we go. These are the Daleks that I have wanted for so long. I never got the opportunity to pick up that original Destiny set because it was far too expensive and I missed out on it when I was a kid. But here we go, guys. We have the Destiny Daleks. They've always been something of a personal favourite of mine. I really, really love that lighter grey, and I think character have absolutely spoiled us here with the two Daleks they've given us. So we're going to take a look at the more standard one first. So this one does not include the oval. They have given us a brand new eyepiece, which is completely flat. It doesn't have the actual 3D sculpting that the older eye stalk does, as you can see, and the pupil and iris is completely painted on instead of sculpted, so that's interesting, and I think that is accurate. That we've got 4 rings this time instead of the standard 5, as you can see. And yeah, at first I was kind of like, what are they doing? But actually, no, that is correct. So as you can see, we have this really, really nice light grey. In the promotional photography, it looked to be more of a bluey grey for some reason, but I can confirm that when you have the figures in hand, Even on the camera, they do seem to have a bit of a blue to them, but I can confirm it is definitely light grey. For some reason, it just looks slightly bluey on camera. And then you've got these really nice glossy black hemispheres, which have been given a bit of scrub with silver paint, just to make it look like the props have been bashed about. You've got this really nice metallic black, but what I've also noticed is it has a texture to it. It's not completely smooth, which is really nice. Like I say, I'm loving these updated slats. We have the black gun and the black plunger, which is accurate. I know that for a fact. You've even got the grey mesh in between. And this one has the standard egg cup lights. So taking a look at his partner, as you can see, this Dalek has a bronze gun, which is interesting. And the big difference is the oval and also the base of the midsection has also been painted black, so a lot like the Resurrection Daleks, which I'm sure will come next year. Also, there's a difference of base here. This one has a silver strip across the top. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I don't remember seeing that, but I'm sure it is. And obviously the big difference, we have these new sculpted lights, which this time have been given a black rim, which is accurate because this Dalek tends to stand out from the rest of them. He has a strange voice as well. It's much more high-pitched than the rest. So I think it's because David Goodison was playing this Dalek. So yeah, as you can see, there's a nice bit of difference between them, and much the same as the Genesis Daleks, they are exactly the same Dalek figures. You've got the standard ones with the egg cup lights and no oval, and then you have this one with the newly sculpted lights and the oval. So once again, I am certain that this light wasn't in Genesis of the Daleks, and I think character may have unfortunately just been cutting costs by literally just using the same two Daleks. Now, you know, that is a bit annoying because I'm certain that there are no Daleks in Genesis that have this, but, you know, they do in Destiny. Like I say, this Dalek definitely has those lights. If that's what they had to do, that's a shame, because, you know, I'm not really that... I mean, it's not too noticeable, to be honest, but it is what it is. But here's what I mentioned earlier, that I'm going to be bringing this guy back. Now, some of you may remember, in Destiny of the Daleks, there was a Dalek that had a darker grey colour scheme to the rest of the Daleks. And this Dalek also had no oval shape, and it seemed to bear quite a close resemblance to a Genesis Dalek. Now, what's cool is, and I'm not sure if this was intended, it might not have been, but it could have been, this Dalek can double as that Dalek from Destiny. So you've got yourself a Commander Dalek here. It's in the darker grey. It doesn't have the oval shape. The only inaccurate thing is it does have a Genesis eye, but that could be correct as well, because I don't think the eye stalk on this Dalek was the same as these Daleks. So, like I say, I'm not an expert, but I do think actually having these three figures together, it can still count as a Destiny Dalek, and I think that's really, really cool. So I kind of like how you can blend these two sets together if you want to. So overall, I'm a huge fan of these Dalek sets. Now, like I said, unfortunately, due to the rubbish packaging, my eye has been bent on this Dalek, but a bit of boiling water can fix that. But, you know, it's not really the packagings we're buying these sets for, it's the Daleks, and I am very, very satisfied. In my opinion, these are the best Dalek sets since History of the Daleks 7 and 9. The Gunmetal Grey Day and Planet Daleks were amazing. I honestly think they've just been overtaken. I absolutely love these sets, and it's making me incredibly excited for what's coming in the future. Okay guys, so next up we have the only 3-pack that I've bought for Wave 2 of this year. I haven't bought the 13 Doctor set, and I have no intention to. Now, I'm sure some of you are upset and possibly triggered about that, so to help you out, here's footage of my cat. But anyway, back to the Ninth Doctor set. So this is a set that I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether I would even purchase, but I decided to in the end because I realised you get a nice variant of Rose, an awesome holographic Ninth Doctor figure, and an interesting Ninth Doctor figure to say the least, so let's get straight into it. So we're going to start off with Rose. Now, a lot of people will be very annoyed to see that this is that original version of Rose that has very limited articulation. You can't move the head, you can't... the arms can go backward on this side but not really forward, and they can go forward but not really backward on this side. There's rotation at the elbow, and the legs can go forward and back, but there's really no point because it's very pre-posed. So you're not really going to get much other positions aside from this. You've also got rotation at the waist. But I have to say, I think my uncle's picked a very good one. I think the paint is very, very good on this figure. It does look like Billie Piper. A lot of people say that the Series 2 head sculpt looks better. I actually think this one does. It does look a lot like how she did in the first season of the show. She had that really long hair. And this is a variant from, again, I think it's Rose and the End of the World, because she's wearing this kind of grey, ash grey hoodie that's red on the front. So it's a nice variant. You know, I have been asking for more variants of Rose for a long, long time now, and it's nice that Character have finally found us a way to give us one. So it's really nice, honestly. I like it more than I thought I was going to. So, next up, we have the holographic Ninth Doctor. Now, this is a cool one because I'm still trying to get hold of the holographic 10th Doctor, which was a BBC shop exclusive. It's a full transparent plastic. Even the PVC jacket is transparent, so you can actually see the pocket through it, and it has this very cool kind of video texture with these lightly sprayed black lines through it, which is very, very cool. And actually on camera and with this light shining on it, it does look even more holographic than it does in regular light. So there's a bit of an interesting thing about this figure, which I'll bring up when I'm reviewing the next one, is this is actually based off the original Ninth Doctor sculpt. So not the pre-posed one, but the original head sculpt that we've had for many, many years. It's exactly the same, it's just been done completely in translucent plastic with this very nice kind of sprayed black lines on here, like I say. And this is from Parting of the Ways. It's from that A Very Emotional Scene, you know, where it's like, have a good life, do that for me, Rose, have a fantastic life. You know, very, very cool scene. So this will be very good to add to my Series 1 display because I've almost completely finished Series 1. I believe I just have to build the Gelth figure, which I'm getting there with, but it's quite expensive to do. So very, very happy to have this Ninth Doctor figure. It has all of the standard articulation that any Ninth Doctor figure would have, so I'm not really going to bother going over that. But yeah, now comes in the interesting figure, and the one that I was a bit unsure about. We have this Ninth Doctor, and yes, this is a brand new head sculpt. As you can see, it is very different to the head sculpt that we are used to with the Ninth Doctor. So this is more of a smiling face head sculpt, which I must admit I actually do like. However, I do feel as though some of the details are quite soft, especially round the back of the head and on the leather jacket. Now, this leather jacket was always really incredible because it had all of these little textures on it, like these little leathery bits and everything. And that sadly seems to have been done away with this new jacket. And I don't really understand why Character felt the need to re-sculpt his jacket for, when I don't think there was ever really much wrong with the original. I don't really understand. Unfortunately, there seems to be a problem with the Ninth Doctor's legs, and I'm not sure if that's because the sculpt has been used too much, but the right leg seems to be shorter than the left, and because of that, it does make him a little wonky to stand. So yeah, you might want to get onto that, Character. But the Ninth Doctor does have this really nice purple jumper, as you can see, and he's wearing blue jeans, which I absolutely hate, but there you go. The jacket seems to be more of a brownish black, and it's got that nice kind of brushing over it, you know, just to give it that very leather effect, which is really nice. And yeah, I do really like this new head sculpt. I think it looks enough like Christopher Eccleston. However, it doesn't have his pimple, which is really, really irritating, because this original sculpt, it's quite difficult to see, but I can see it there, does have the pimple. You can see just on below his cheek, and they've removed that from this for some reason. I'm not sure if maybe Eccleston complained. I don't know, but like I say, never saw anything wrong with this original sculpt, so it's a bit of an odd choice to spend all that money to give the Ninth Doctor a new head sculpt. It's just a bit strange, to be honest. So overall, what do I think of this figure set? It's okay. Like I say, I bought it at full price, so I did actually really want these figures, and I'm glad I've got them, honestly. But there's just a couple of decisions that have been made here that are really weird. So some of you guys might be wondering, why is the Ninth Doctor in jeans? Apparently it's from a Big Chief story, which I wish they would stop doing. Personally, I'm going to be getting some black acrylic paint and painting them black, so if he has the purple jumper, he becomes the 13 Doctors set version, the Aliens of London version. That's what I'm going to do, because I missed out on that version, and I've no interest in having a big Finnish Doctor on my shelf. I want this to go in my Series 1 display, so I'll just be painting the trousers a solid black, a matte black, and yeah, I think it's going to make a really great looking Ninth Doctor figure. Really like the Rose figure. I know it's the Staction figure and not many people are fond of it, but I like it. Really, really like the holographic Ninth Doctor. I think that's the highlight of the set for me, but yeah, really nice set. It's just, there's not really too much to say about it. Okay, and last but ever so not least, and I'm sure the set that you've all been waiting for, and I know the set that I've been waiting for forever, it is the creation of the Dalek set, including a Dalek with removable appendages, and, drum roll please, the Michael Wisher Davros, a figure that I have wanted since I first saw the character on screen when I was a kid. And once again, I missed out on the original release of this figure. So this set is really a dream come true, and I want to give a big thank you to Character Options and a big, big thank you to Al Juar, you absolute legend. I take back every criticism I've ever made of you of the past. Like, well, until you make another mistake. No, in all seriousness, this is absolutely amazing, and I think the entirety of the Doctor Who fandom seems to agree. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into reviewing this set. So I'm going to take a quick look at the backdrop first. Now, this is obviously that scene where Sarah Jane is hiding just here. She peers over the top to see Davros and a Dalek, and it's been so awesomely recreated. You know, once again, I just can't understand why we have to get this environmentally, you know, friendly packaging. It's such an annoying thing. So many toy collectors hate it, and, you know, as I've shown you guys, I will not be keeping those boxes. So I guess, yeah, you got the recycling, but now there's no boxes anymore to keep. But it's nice that here we get this awesome backdrop, and I love it so much. You can even see you've got a Thal target, you've got the kind of very gloomy looking sunset over the planet, you've got a very gravelly floor, you've got this destroyed kind of wall with even the vine going through it. I always thought Genesis of the Daleks was a very, you know, visually good story. I thought the sets were great, and I think it really shows here in this wonderful diorama. So big thanks, Al. I think you've done a really, really fantastic job here, and the figures look absolutely phenomenal when displayed with it. Okay, guys, and here we go. We have the Michael Wisher Davros and his Genesis Dalek, or I suppose you could call it the prototype Dalek, which is really, really cool. So I'll get the Dalek out the way first. It's exactly the same as the other Genesis Daleks. In fact, I'll just bring the more standard one in. It's got exactly the same paint apps. It has the egg cup dome lights. It does have the bronze gun, which, like I say, I think that's accurate. However, it's got a hair on it for some reason. However, I do also... what was I talking about? However, sadly, for some unknown reason, it hasn't been given the grey on the eye stalk. It is just silver all the way, which is very, very annoying. I mean, if you're a customizer, you could probably get past that issue easily, but I'm just happy that it has the silver ball joint there and the bronze gun. So this is the most accurate Genesis Dalek out of the 3 Genesis Dalek figures that we have. It has, like I say, it doesn't have that strange light. It has the oval, it has the bronze gun. It's just that silver eye stalk. That's the only thing that they got wrong. Aside from that, this is technically the most accurate out of all 3 figures. But what really makes this Dalek special is its ability. So, you can detach the gun and the plunger, and unlike the other figures, the ball is one solid piece to the arm. See, something I was really worried about is that if we pull too hard, are we going to pop the plungers out or the guns out, which is something that happened on that Toys R Us set where you could remove the gun. And what Character have done to fix this is make it one solid sculpt, and they've even provided us with these awesome little cable and button accessories which you can plug into the little hole at the back here, and boom, you've got yourself an accessory for the 4th Doctor where he has to destroy the tapes. It's like, how very apt, a Dalek gun, which is very cool. And you can even give this accessory to Davros if you want to. It's entirely up to you. And then to remove it, you simply just twist it back out. It does pop in there really tightly, and you do get 2 of these, so you can do exactly the same to the plunger arm as well. Now what's cool is these things are hollow and they have a back in there, so it will sit in there quite nicely. But you can choose to have the Dalek from the scene where he doesn't have his gun. In fact, Nyder has to plug this in first and then attach this. Or you can have it from the scene which this set is based off, and that is the scene where Sarah Jane first looks and we see the Dalek and Davros is sat in the corner, and it's halt, turn right, halt, now, exterminate. So, yeah, that's my Davros impression right there. But yeah, very, very cool. I think that's how I'm going to be displaying it. So enough about the Dalek. Let's bring in the one that you're all here to see. The Michael Wisher Davros. It's perfect. What can I say? Every issue that there was with the original version of this figure is gone. For instance, he has the black cables instead of those annoying blue cables, which was inaccurate. His control panel's been improved. He's been given the correct levers. These are a soft, pliable plastic, so that's really nice. I've less worry that they're going to break, but look after them just the same. He's actually been given this very nice wash, which really highlights the details. I mean, look at that sculpt. The microphone is a lot better, it's a lot longer and doesn't quite stick to his face as badly. I've just noticed it's even been painted white at the end. His chair is very good. I did notice, because I've got one of these sets for my friend, and he said he was okay having this, but he's actually got better face paint than mine. His chair, unfortunately, is slightly warped, so we're going to try and fix that with some, like I say, just a hairdryer should be able to do it, but that's something to keep in mind. I believe the original version of the figure had this problem, where the chair was a little bit warped. Mine is really good, it's straight, there's nothing wrong with it. I know Batman March was bringing this up. In terms of articulation, his head can move from side to side slightly, but you want to be careful because of all of these extra bits. His arm can come up and down. You've got a full 360 at the bicep. You can bring his arm out if you want to. You can rotate the hand, but it's very tight, so just keep that in mind. I love these bits of transparent orange plastic here. I love all the colours. You've even got that little device there. I can create in their bodies all the torments and agonies ever known. You know, so... And what's also nice is he has maintained the feature that all of the classic Davroses have. You click this little button and his panel will pop off, and they've even given us silver brushing so you can see all the detail in there, which is very nice. I know this was for Terry Malloy's Davros, but because they all use the same body... I mean, are you really going to complain about that? I mean, to people who complain about this, for Christ's sake, it's an extra feature. It's better than just super gluing it on. It gives you more play value. Oh, it's not accurate to the story. Big deal. You know, hell, if there was a rocket launcher that came out of there and shot these little darts, I'd still be happy. Yeah, oh, it's not accurate to the story. It's a toy. It's like, my God, yeah, can we have that character? This pops off and then a little gun pops out, like a minigun, and we've got, like, he can defend himself a lot easier then. It's like, it's a nice feature, and I'm really glad they included it. So you have the shiny silver base, and all of the sensor globes are silver as well, but you have been given a bit of a wash. Now, this is what I will say, and I was a bit of a picky git with this. My friend's Davros has a much more darker wash. In fact, I've noticed with some of them it's very slight, and with others it's ridiculous, so that's something you might want to keep an eye out for. I'm fine with this because it's not too noticeable. On the other one, it was really noticeable. It was ridiculous even, so, you know, I love the face. I love how they painted the eye blue. It's just absolutely fantastic. I love the red wires. I love everything. Like, you got the vein there. There's a little splodge of paint just here, but I can always touch that up with some dry brushing. Like, you can't even see it on camera, to be honest. But this is amazing. Do you know what, guys? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. This is the best set that has ever come out in the history of the B&M figures. I'm just going to say it as it is. This is the best set that we've ever gotten from B&M, and that's God's honest truth. And so, guys, that is going to conclude my reviews for the Doctor Who B&M sets of 2022. Now, I'm just going to make a disclaimer. A review of the First Doctor and Electronic TARDIS set will be coming soon. As of recording this video, that set has not yet come into stock at B&M, so that will be getting its own separate review. I know some of you will probably be wondering where that is. Don't worry, it is coming, hopefully. I hope I'm able to get hold of one. But I mean, I am just going to say, despite this wave mostly being just Daleks, I still absolutely love it. I mean, I'm a huge Dalek fan, and obviously getting the Michael Wisher Davros is just the coolest thing ever. So, ranking the sets individually, I would say the History of the Daleks set 9, I would give a 7 out of 10. The History of the Daleks set 10, I would give a 7 out of 10. The History of the Daleks set 11, I would give a 7 out of 10. Actually, no, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. And the History of the Daleks set 11, I am going to give a 9 out of 10. It's absolutely fantastic. The Creation of the Daleks set, 10 out of 10. The 8th Doctor set, an 8 out of 10. The 9th Doctor set, also an 8. I really, really like it. I have very little negative to say about all of these figures. I will say that Wave 2 is significantly stronger than Wave 1. I think that's the case most years. Although, you know, I think there is value in each and every one of these sets, guys, and I would say if you haven't got these yet, you have got to go out there and try and track them down. Now, like I've said many times, I don't agree with the whole having to hunt these things down, but unfortunately, that's just the way things are. You know, I've done a video on this, you can go check that out, but honestly, guys, if you can get hold of any of these sets, especially the Davros set, I think you're going to be one very happy Doctor Who collector, as am I right here, right now. So I want to thank all of you for tuning into this video. I know it's been a long one. I really have put everything I have into this video, and I only hope that you guys enjoy it. As I said, the TARDIS set review is going to be coming separately, and I also just want to say a big thank you to Character Options. These figures are absolutely amazing. I'm really hyped to see what we'll be getting for the 60th anniversary year. David Goodison's set would be amazing, please, character. Yeah. What I would like to see, and this is my only complaint about this wave, I would love to start seeing some more monsters being released, not just Daleks and Cybermen. And, you know, it's nice to get Doctor and Companion sets, but I think it is starting to get a bit old now. I think I would love to see, like, a classic monsters set, maybe monsters that we haven't seen yet, like Draconians, Ogrons, please, character, please. John Pertwee era Silurians, that kind of thing. I think we really, really need to start seeing this kind of stuff now, because I think there's only so many times you can keep releasing the same figures, but hopefully with the anniversary just round the corner, the budget will be able to go up and we might start seeing a much more diverse set of figures. But absolutely loving the Daleks character. Keep these Dalek sets coming. They're absolutely brilliant, and absolutely love the Davros set. And the 8th and 9th Doctor sets are really nice too. I will be getting the 10th Doctor set eventually, but not at £22. You can forget. And the 13th Doctor set, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. That's just me. It's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Just deal with it. Right, so thank you all for watching, guys. I hope you're happy and safe wherever you are in the world. Good luck with hunting these figures, and let's all get excited for Christmas this year. So have a really good day, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. Well, if it will just focus for me.